Welcome back to another video in which today we're going to be talking about Gohan and Dragon Ball Super. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video nonetheless. Subscribe to Mark, because Mark is on the video with me, real to real. Awesome guy. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm good, D-Free. Always good to be here. Thanks for having me on, man.
Of course, man. You're like my Robin, bro.
Do I get the little Speedo and everything? Yeah.
Nah, I don't. We ain't with all that funny stuff, bro. I'm sorry. Okay, so guys, hope you guys enjoyed, the banter between me and Mark. It's always a pleasure to have this guy in the videos. But what we're going to talk about today's topic is Gohan. Now, as you guys know, if you don't know, now you kind of know, right? So basically, Gohan is going to be fighting in the upcoming tournament. So obviously, well, actually, he's going to fight in the tournament too, but he's also fighting in the preliminaries, right? So Goku went ahead and just recruited him to fight with Boo and Goku in the tournament against Basil and those guys, or Basil, whatever, tomato, don't at me. From there, right? Gohan is not fighting yet, but I wanted to kind of do the video to talk about, what we think could happen as far as predictions in that fight between Gohan and whoever he fights, and more or less just give our insight as far as like how Gohan can return to power and how Gohan can get a little bit stronger in between now and by the time that the actual tournament starts. I wanted to kind of just drop here that we don't know how long indefinitely it will be after the exhibition that the tournament starts, but I assume there'll be some sort of layover in between. Maybe that acts as a training period for Gohan. I don't know. Maybe that just, gives him some time to get a little better. And I also wanted to kind of drop here just that as far as Gohan goes, right? The fact that he would be getting stronger doesn't particularly mean that he's going to be synonymous and on the level of Goku and Vegeta. I just don't expect him to be able to do that in this short amount of time if there is any sort of layover to begin with. But at the least, getting back to fighting form, getting back to, the Gohan that we all know and love, right? So, Mark, how long do you think, for one, it'll take for Gohan to get there? Do you think that in the first fight that he has here, do you think he's just going to get completely mollywopped, destroyed in the battle, and he's going to, spend a... Or do you think, because this is what I personally think, right? I think Gohan's going to take a massive L, and after that, he's going to come back in his next fight and be a lot better, or he's going to be getting beat down, and then towards the end of it, make a clutch comeback. So what do you think will happen?
No, I definitely think, especially with this fight, personally, honestly, when you look at this kind of preliminary fight, they're doing a simple matchup just to kind of see how this tournament's going to work in the long run. If this thematically has anything, like story-wise, to do with the entire arc, I really think most likely it's just to point at Gohan and be like, see this guy? He's still a bitch. Like, he's going to get... he's gonna get steamrolled. I feel like that's the whole point. If there is one character in this lineup that we see from Universe 7 that can pull like a dark tournament style, I'm gonna get better as I go through all of this. I mean, obviously Gohan or Goku and Vegeta are definitely going to become better and better and better as they go, but Gohan will play a Trunks role in this upcoming arc to be the one who gets better and better and better and learning from all this stuff, getting his fight sense back and everything that we've seen. I personally feel like this is just to kind of wake him up, really, because he knows the stakes, he knows like what's going to happen, and he might think that he's strong enough, but this is going to be a really easy reminder that he isn't ready for this. And if he doesn't bring his A game, the thing he's been promising us for the entirety of all Dragon Ball Super, then his universe can potentially be killed. Videl, Pan, Chi-Chi, Goten, Goku, everybody. If he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, you're putting him on that level the same way they put him on that level with the whole Cell games. And this could be an amazing comeback for Gohan if they do it well.
Definitely. I feel like they have spent so much of Super just jerking Gohan around like, okay, I'm going to train a little bit, and then we don't know if he stops training, but it damn sure doesn't seem like he continues training, between then and whenever he was, initially trying to train prior to that previous tournament. And then from there, the whole future Trunks stuff happens. He's like, man, I need to, I'm sorry that Trunks didn't let me know what was going on. I need to start training again. And then he shows up sweaty at the end of that, whether that was training or from flying, whatever it is. Kid Trunks got sweaty from flying after the time machine for like 30 seconds. So I don't know what to say about that. It could have been just sweat from that, but I'll digress as far as that goes. So basically my point is, they spent so much time just saying, hey, Gohan is this, Gohan is that, and then they're coming off the heels of giving him like a whole couple episode mini arc in which you got to see Gohan do some cool things as Great Saiyaman. And I think that now is finally getting closer to that time where they're like, okay, Gohan, you've had all this build-up. It's time for some payoff. Now, as far as the upcoming tournament goes, yeah, I do think that they have this whole dynamic with Gohan as like a trope where, okay, it's time for you to get your butt beat so you can come back and redeem yourself later on. I think that would be a cool way to progress his character. And also, you know, how the show likes to do that just in general for everybody, right? Oh, hey, Gohan, you lost. Hey, a Zenkai boost. Now you're a little bit stronger. So, like, it all kind of ties in cohesively with what Dragon Ball Super likes to do, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, one thing they could do, which is something they did throughout all of Dragon Ball Z, you know, like little bits and pieces here and there, is if they're going to give Gohan that, like, little, you know, now's the time to, like, literally, like, nut up or shut up and everything, give him that moment where he's on the ground, beaten down, and then just everything passes through his eyes. You know, everything we've seen from this, like him getting destroyed by Frieza, him getting destroyed by Beerus, and all these other people, you know, especially like the Beerus and Frieza thing, because, you know, when Beerus was fighting him and he couldn't do anything to stop Beerus, that's when Videl was like, I'm pregnant, and he had something to fight for, and yet he couldn't do shit. And then when Frieza was basically destroying him, he had something to fight for because his wife and his child were, you know, they got killed at the end of it. It's like, give him that push where I was never there to help anyone. You know, I wasn't there to I couldn't beat Frieza. I couldn't help Future Trunks. I couldn't do any of this stuff. I kind of slept on all this, and I just hate myself for it. I hate the fact that I'm useless, and I know I'm not. So it would be interesting just to kind of give like us that little recap of everything that we've seen thus far in Super, where Gohan has just been, you know, punched into the ground by the creators of the show and just like whatever they're doing with the story wise, and have him have that emotional breakdown, that rage moment. Because let's be honest, I think Future Trunks really kind of solidifies this. The half Saiyans have rage moments. You know, Goku and Vegeta have constant training and building up and building up and building up, but the half Saiyans literally have a Super Saiyan rage mode, and they can achieve faster than Goku and Vegeta can, both what we've seen in the show and what Vegeta has kind of stated in his own light. So honestly, this is something that we want to see going into this, is just the fact that we want Gohan to have a awesome I'm going to kill everyone moment. This is just absolutely ridiculous. If I don't stand up now, we're all gonna die. And personally, like, if I can say, and I know I'm like, give me a little bit more time on this, I feel like if anyone who's seen the Dark Tournament, I want that to happen. I want, for whatever reason, Future Zeno or someone to screw with Universe 7 for whatever reason and put them like in a back-to-back fight between two other universes, and Gohan to be the only one on the freaking team that could actually fight at that point, and he has to step up or they're gonna lose.
That would be really cool, and it would actually lead to a lot of emotional payoff as far as Gohan is concerned. And I do think that, you know, you touched a good point with Trunks, because Trunks basically epitomizes everything that Gohan could be, right? Like, Gohan was always said to be a character that had so much immense potential, and Goku, even in the latest episode, said, hey, I know better than anybody else. You have this, so you can do this. And I do think that, you know, we could be basically leading towards something like that. I mean, people have talked about the possibility of like a really dark outcome as far as Gohan's concerned, where, like, you know, he needs something to really push him over the edge, and that could be one of his family members, his child, whatever it is, something happening to them could be the reason that happens. And I don't really know if that's particularly what'll happen, but I do think that at least having the weight of the universe on his shoulders, you know, could be something like that, as far as, because, you know, it's a little bit different than saying, okay, I'm just gonna outwardly take your daughter, which we kind of saw a little bit in the Great Saiyaman stuff with Barry Khan taking Pan, and Gohan was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get my daughter, so that was cool. But, like, you know, it's a little bit different than saying I'm gonna take your daughter, or God forbid, I'm gonna kill your daughter, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to literally destroy everything you know and you love if you don't win this. So, like, Gohan's gonna have no choice but to push himself there, because it kind of was like, you know, he didn't even want to participate even among that. He was just like, man, this is kind of like, wow, I don't know what's going on. How do I handle this? I can't fight anymore. So I do expect something to come from him. I do think that as far as Trunks goes, it is a little bit fallacious, as far as he got, like, incredibly powerful. I'm not really going to jump into that. I don't expect Gohan to become Trunks' equal all of a sudden, but just being able to hold his own is all I really can expect from him.
Mm-hmm. No, I really hope that that's what we get from this, just going into this arc, is Gohan needs to be able to stand up with Goku and Vegeta, because honestly, no one else on that team can even remotely come close. No one has the potential to grow that much, or unless they just completely throw a wrench in everything and just show everyone getting stronger for no reason, even though, I mean, there's indication that they could, but like getting that much stronger, you know, other than Gohan, no one can actually get to that level, and they're going to need someone who can actually get to that level.
Correct. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. So, any other closing sentiments here, man, before we get up out of here?
No, other than the fact that, like I said, I really want someone to, whether it's Future Zeno or the Grand Priest or someone, to just completely screw with Universe 7 for whatever reason. Like, I would love to see a back-to-back fight for Universe 7 just because they're dicking them around and putting more weight. Like, that would be such an emotional thing to put a lot of weight on Gohan or other characters in general that don't deserve the spotlight. Like, if Vegeta and Goku were just out of the fight for whatever reason for that particular round and they couldn't carry the team, that would be pretty intense.
Yeah, I would force Gohan to fight, and it would force some other guys to fight. Son Goku, this is for all of your insolence with referring to Zeno as Zenchan. Now you guys have to fight 5 consecutive fights. Just totally destroy the whole team. Oh, God, that'd be lit. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to today's video. Nonetheless, it's totally a pleasure to have you guys just sit here and listen to us talk about this type of thing. Let us know in the comment section what you think could happen as far as predictions for Gohan's upcoming fight. Do you think he'll win? Do you think he'll lose? Do you think he'll just get completely wrecked in the fight, or will he make a comeback? Whatever happens. And then from there, what you think will happen as far as Gohan. Will he get some sort of emotional payoff? Will he reach a Zenkai? How will Gohan become more relevant throughout the duration of the tournament? But as always, as I said in the beginning of the video, check out Mark, aka Real to Real. Link is in the description. You should see a little thingy pop up on the screen somewhere right about now, where you can click on it and go directly to his channel. Really awesome guy, as you could tell, and you know, he deserves your subscription. So,
Thank you.
Oh, my neck! I got a torque in my neck, or a kink in my neck, right when I was saying that. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.